I didn't catch the beginning of Smackdown because when I was doing my video, I was about maybe 14 minutes. Smackdown was 14 minutes ahead, so I ended up missing like a good 14 minutes of it. So I'm just gonna go by the things that I saw and a couple of things that I did catch on the internet when I did see a couple of matches. There are some yays and there are some nays about tonight's SmackDown. Now, I did catch this one on the internet, and it was the Sheamus, the Sheamus match that he was in versus the Great Khali, and it was once again another David versus Goliath style match. And honestly, it wasn't believable to me because number one, the Great Khali is huge. We all know how big he is. We all know how tough he is. We all know how big those giant man hands are. And seeing how Sheamus was able to take him out, I don't know. It's just, I mean, it's easy to make a giant fall. Well, not really easy, but there are ways to make a giant fall. But the way that I saw it, you know, it just seemed like he just fell and then Sheamus won because Sheamus is now face. So it just really wasn't all that believable to me. And one thing that bothered me was Jinder Mahal. It's like week by week, Jinder Mahal is like becoming a waste of space. Like he literally does not have a point in being in the room. He's supposed to be the next up and coming heel. Like he's supposed to be a wrestler. Instead of being on the side, yakking your ear off and whatever in Hindu and and literally just being a big pain in the butt. And I'm like, Jinder Mahal is supposed to be out there wrestling. He's supposed to be showing what his talents are. Instead, he's always either in a skybox talking about how great he is, or down below commanding the Great Khali to fight. Who, I mean, for crying out loud, he shouldn't have been there at all. He should have been doing something else. But the one thing that really makes me happy was the fact that, and this is one of the yays, is that Natalia turned heel, just like Beth Phoenix turned heel on Raw. Awesome. And I think it's going to become the female wrestlers versus the Princess Divas. Now, I'm all for that because honestly, Beth Phoenix and Natalia are the only two real female wrestlers there. And I am all up for a battle because I'm really sick to death of all of these wafy, wannabe pretty chicks that saying that they have talent when they don't, and all they have is a pretty face to go on. Especially this chick that just showed up. Name I think her name is Alexandra, either Alexander or Alexandra or whatever, and she's just trying to hit up on Teddy and try to give him another stroke. It's like there's more to wrestlers than just a pretty face, and it's just going to give them a bad name. And it really makes me sick how they have this this brunette, big-breasted chick just coming up out of nowhere, flirting, and she's gonna probably be the next diva that's gonna come out. And it's just her very existence offends me. But anyway, um, what other match were there? Okay, the Usos versus the fact I saw JTG there, um, that was pretty cool. I mean, now that he's a heel and everything, that was kind of something that was going to happen, ever since R-Truth became a heel. Every black man there started becoming a heel. But it was nice to see JTG there with McGillicuddy and Otunga. Gosh, they they are really the oddest tag team I've ever seen in my life. And just the fact that it has to be scripted for them to win, it just seems so clumsy in the ring. And the Usos are awesome, but the one thing that's missing from their intro is Pyro. When they stamp down, why not have a little Pyro come up? I mean, come on. And the fact that they lost was another thing, and Trent Beretta is going to consistently be buried no matter what he does, which really is sad because he really has a lot of potential too, but then he ended up losing. Another nay of this whole thing was, if you saw my last video, you know how irate I became when I found out that Vladimir was the one that was being released. And unfortunately, this SmackDown that we just saw was his final match ever on the WWE. And that was a really big day. And then the fact that he got taken out by Mark Henry, not only taken out by losing, he got his freaking foot broke. Like you wouldn't let him leave with dignity to the point where you had Mark Henry break his foot by sticking it in a chair and having his 500 plus pound body land on it, breaking his foot to pieces. Come on, let the man leave with dignity. He was a great wrestler, and you just gonna let him go out like that? That's why I know the soap opera writers are doing this show. Because if you've seen soap operas, you know the crazy way that they fire their folk is by having them die an unbelievable or gruesome death. But instead of him dying, thank God, he literally got his foot broke. His foot broke. Oh, man, WWE, you have no love for Vladimir. No love whatsoever. That's just sad. But I'm not gonna lie that the final match of the night with Randy Orton and and John Morrison versus R-Truth and Christian. Now, why do you consistently keep doing this? There's a lot of emotion, a lot of passion behind this match. This is something you kind of want to hold back for the pay-per-view. You've already have showed us exactly how it will be when the pay-per-view comes out. You've already announced it. You've already promoted it. There's no point in making a match with these people who are going to be in SummerSlam because it's just going to desensitize it. It's not going to have people interested in it. They're going to have their own predictions of what's going to happen. It's not going to be a build-up. So stop putting people in these matches that are supposed to be part of the main event. It doesn't make any sense. It's just going to lower it. It's just going to downgrade it to the point where nobody wants to see it. So they need to stop doing it. WWE needs to stop doing it. You can come up with something else for the show. And and another somewhat yay, somewhat nay of the night was Zack Ryder. I love Zack Ryder. I love Zack Ryder's personality and I love his character. And honestly, it made me happy that he was out there and gonna do his showski of the address. But we all knew it was gonna happen. That Teddy Long was gonna get pissed off and somehow screw Zack Ryder by putting him in a match with Ezekiel Jackson. And that's another thing. Ezekiel Jackson versus Cody Rhodes. Well, I mean, not really in a battle of, of brawls or fists. It was in a battle of voices. It was bad voice versus bad mic skills. Now, Cody Rhodes has the oddest voice. He sounds like he's freaking nasal. Like, you're ugly like everybody else here. And I'm gonna resurrect that belt like I did with Ted DiBiase's career. That's how he sounds. He sounds nasal. It's time to take the mask off. And Ezekiel Jackson shouldn't be talking at all because he's really horrible on the mic. And like I said before, Ezekiel Jackson is I mean, it's no doubt that he has an accent because I think he's South American, so he has that accent. There's nothing wrong with having an accent because, I mean, shoot, Wade Barrett has a freaking accent, but he cannot speak. He cannot speak on the mic. He needs somebody to speak for him until he starts developing those skills. As Ted DiBiase, I would have rather had Ted DiBiase versus Cody Rhodes than Zack Ryder versus Ezekiel Jackson because that match itself was too predictable. We all knew that Zack was going to lose. It was pretty much how it was supposed to be, which makes me sad because I love Zack. But I would love to see those two go at it. Cody Rhodes versus Ted DiBiase. It was something that was supposed to happen but never did. But I don't know. The match itself really didn't make any sense. But the one person that is really underestimated throughout SmackDown is Daniel Bryan. Now, don't get me wrong, I love Wade Barrett because I think Wade Barrett should have won the Money in the Bank. But Daniel Bryan, my goodness, the guy has aggression in his blood. Like, he seems like he's a volcano ready to erupt. That's somebody you should never underestimate. Now, I mean, I think he may have a little bit of crazy in him, and it's a possibility that he could go heel. And I think he would be a great heel because he's really aggressive. But in his match that he had I mean, wow. I mean, I'm really impressed by his moves. I'm really impressed by his aggressiveness, and I think that he's indeed a talent. And it really, you know, I'm really kind of looking forward to the Wade Barrett and the Daniel Bryan match because I think that match is going to be awesome. It makes me sad that Wade Barrett constantly keeps getting buried because of the fact that the whole core thing and that splitting up, and then John Cena pretty much burying him. But anyway, I think he's a really great talent that's pretty much going to be underrated for a while. But it's kind of difficult for me to rate SmackDown and give it a grade because I did miss half of it. So, but I mean, there were a lot of good points in it that really did make me happy, and there were a lot of negative points. And I have to give it a C plus tonight because number one, Vladimir Kozlov, the biggest mistake they've ever made to release. And this was his last night, and they didn't even give him a match with dignity. They freaking broke his foot. Didn't even let him lose and then just walk out. They broke his foot. And then there were other matches that shouldn't even have happened at all. And I don't know. It's just I'm still upset about the whole Vladimir thing. But anyway, I'm gonna give it a C plus for tonight. If you got any comments, leave them below. If you like what I'm saying, please subscribe. And by all means, give me feedback. I love your feedback. Well, this is Nature Girl 30 signing off. I'll see you next week.